Are you a parent or teacher looking for accurate resources to teach kids about where their food comes from? Consider checking out my books at amandaradke.com. These stories highlight the men and women who provide us with the essentials of life, food, fiber, and energy. Beautifully illustrated by Michelle Weber, these books are a work of art and they have an educational message as well. Find them at amandaradke.com. Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Radke, and this is a special edition of the Radke Report. Today, I am pleased to be sitting with Theresa Thibodeau, who is running for the governor role in Nebraska. Welcome.
Hi, Amanda. How are you? Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, I'm doing great. And, you know, I enjoyed watching your debate. You debated some of your cohorts, I guess, on the campaign trail last night. And I guess just kind of reaction from how the evening went. How did you think it went? I think you did great, but I guess what was kind of the reaction that you've been getting from people?
Well, thank you. And the feedback that I have gotten, Amanda, as well, is that people feel that I won the debate and that I was the strongest candidate up on stage. I had the most depth of my answers, and then I was the proven conservative on the stage. I think it became very clear that there was somebody up there who is running as a conservative, but probably does not have the same conservative values that you and I probably think of when somebody says they are a conservative Republican.
Yeah, and I thought that kind of was the standout moment of the debate when the interviewers asked you guys, you know, this is a Republican primary, May 10th in Nebraska. What does being a conservative really mean? Would you share with our listeners what being a conservative means to you?
Yes. And just like I said last night, first and foremost, it means adhering to our Constitution, the Constitution that is the foundation of our country, and applying that to our everyday lives and our everyday decisions as leaders, which means returning the power to the people and listening to everyday citizens. And that's so important right now. We've seen so long, really over the past 2 years, but for a long time, that really elected officials just have not been paying attention to our Constitution. And it's time to bring that back and bring states' rights back. In addition to that, it is embracing the individual and allowing people to have opportunities, but then get out of the way so that they can prosper and they can empower their dreams.
You know, you've been on the road heavily here the last couple of weeks alongside Trent Luce, who is your running mate. What are the biggest issues you're seeing voters are concerned about? And is that kind of shaping your policies or what you would lead with as a governor?
I guess the biggest thing, I mean, in Nebraska, we have this huge tax problem. But in addition to that, people really are scared in our state because of the taxes, all of the red tape that we have. And then we have these storms that have come in. We're having fires all over the state. People are scared. They're scared about food. The farmers are scared that they may not be able to produce what they produce every year, not only because of the fires, but water shortage. Cost of fertilizer is up 300%. They're wondering if they're going to even be able to get it if it comes in. And then in the urban portions of our state, small businesses are just frustrated because of government red tape. They can barely make it. It is so expensive for them to follow all of the rules and regulations. And as soon as they turn around, there's another one that is thrown upon them that they didn't even know about. And to add the taxes on top of that. And what people are saying to me is, lower our taxes. If you can lower our taxes, we will invest in our own communities and help our community grow. And I think that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, you know, I'm a small business owner, and a large part of my business was traveling the country. And when COVID hit, of course, just like that, it was all over. And, you know, the government decided I wasn't essential and I wasn't going to be working. How were you impacted during the last 2 years with COVID?
Yeah, well, just like you, I was a small business owner, and the government told me I had to kick out 50% of the children that I served. So I had 180 children enrolled in my early childhood center. And so not only did the government decide to choose who was essential, they then put that burden on me to decide which of my parents were essential employees and could have childcare or not.
Wow.
That was one of the hardest decisions ever, because for me, every person is essential and everybody deserves the right to work, and government should never tell them they can't work. And in addition to that, I had parents, our schools shut down. And that brings us to another point of our education. And probably the only silver lining of our schools shutting down is that parents really saw what was in our kids' curriculum and they got mad. And as a mom, I got mad too. And I would say that's the second biggest thing that I'm hearing across the state. Our teachers and our students are not being served. We're failing our kids. We're not graduating them proficient. And our state board of education could care less about that. They want to push down divisive curriculums, sex standards that parents do not want their children taught. And they want to do it in kindergarten. It is ridiculous what is happening in our state with our children, because they are our future. And our teachers union and our boards of education, they're not focused on that. And so while I was telling parents I had no spot for their child, they're also crying about what they're doing with their kids who are now online learning in the curriculum and asking me questions about it. And it was scary, and it was a tough time to get through.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I had the opportunity to hear you speak in Norfolk, and I could tell you were very passionate about this. So education is a big part of your platform. I guess, how would you address some of these education issues in the Nebraska school system?
Well, in Nebraska, we have a state board of education that is elected. Currently, we have 4 great candidates running that would take out half of the board, and then we can get the rest out in the next election. As governor, I would advocate for good conservatives to get elected to our state board of education and ensure that I'm communicating to people all over the state and making sure people don't become complacent again. I think we became complacent. We were just used to education going right along, and we didn't realize the power of our state board of education. And if the board of education would put those standards forward again, I would be very loud in standing against those. And I would ask my legislature to block that if they are going to pass it through the state board of ed. The majority of Nebraskans do not want that in our public schools. And as governor, it's my job to serve the majority of the Nebraskans and make sure that their conservative values are kept in our schools.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that as a mom as well, and that you're a champion of that. Talk to me a little bit about kind of you and Trent and how you are working to bridge that gap between urban and rural Nebraska. That was one thing I noticed in the campaign or on the debate last night was, that the rural areas feel like they're not heard. I guess, what is your strategy there, and why did you bring Trent on board?
Yeah. And you're exactly right, Amanda. And it's a funny story. We were in Hooker County on Sunday, and we knew the urban rural divide obviously existed, but it was very apparent when they were doing the forum with their legislative candidates and just talking about how all of the money in Nebraska seems to go to the eastern part of the state. And I recognize that for a person who lives in the eastern part of the state. And when I was in the legislature, and so many bills got killed from senators from my area, and it was frustrating. So when I got into the race, it was very important for me to have the entire state represented on the ticket. And we have 93 counties. And our state cannot be healthy unless all 93 counties are healthy. And I wanted to show the citizens of Nebraska that I am listening to them, and I'm committed to bridging that gap. And as I got to know Trent and his knowledge on agriculture, his knowledge on food production, as well as policy, because it's very important if you're going to preside over our legislature, knowing policy is going to be very, very important. And as we continued talking and he answered questions, we just thought that we became a great team. And I do laugh, we can be the proof that you can bridge that urban rural divide. Who knew a city girl and a cowboy would make such a good team, but we make a pretty darn good team.
There's a clip of you running around of you carrying a pig. Is that accurate?
That is accurate. I think he thought I would never do it.
Well, he called me and said, I'm gonna have Theresa carry this pig in. And I said, you're gonna do what? And he said, yeah, it's gonna be great. And so then I called back, did she do it? Yeah, she was game for anything. And I think, that's a good segue that people want to know that not only do you know the policies, but they want to be able to sit down over a drink of coffee or beer or whatever it might be and get to know you as the person. So I guess, can we just spend the last couple of minutes? First of all, tell me about your beautiful family. You have a gorgeous family. Tell me about them.
And the best thing about running for governor is getting to know everybody and having people get to know me as a person. And I think that's very important. And I have a wonderful family. I've been married to my husband for 21 years and we have 3 great children. My oldest is 19. And then we have a boy sandwiched in the middle of 2 girls. He is 17 and my youngest is 14. I think the best part of this experience too, though, is I'm away a lot. I'm traveling a lot. And the amount of support that my husband and my children have given me has been just amazing. And they're always there. My husband drove 3 hours after work yesterday to make the debate and drove back last night and was already out the door by 6:30 this morning. And that's the support and commitment that my family has because they know how important this election is. And they truly believe that I am the strong person that can stand up for our state and continue the values and make sure that not only my children stay here in this state, but others do as well. And it's been a wonderful experience. I also have a lot of help from my parents who live right down the street and my sister. And so we have our immediate family, but our extended family is very important to us as well. And it's just been a wonderful experience. And I think being a part of a good family unit is so important.
Yeah, I agree. And, your kids are, being teenagers, they're going to see mom as standing up for what is right and for standing up for something she believes in. I think that's going to stick with them for years and years. Tell me just what's a favorite stop on the campaign trail? Any favorite memories along the path?
Oh my goodness, there have been a lot. Maybe I should say the stop where I was carrying the pig, just because I swear Trent thought I was never going to do it. And I proved to him that even though I'm a city girl, I am willing to carry a pig. But more importantly, it's a few, and it's the stops where I am seeing true Nebraskans solve problems on their own and become creative to get through food production. It's all over our country, the processing of food, but we have had a few people that have ended up, they have their own processing plant right on site. It goes from producer to processor and then right on the shelves, straight out to the consumer. And that not only helps them become successful, but that's helped the producer so much because it has cut out the middleman. Because our producers can't make any money when the big four is making all the money. And then we as consumers are paying a lot more for our food. And the poor producer is going, I can't pay my bills or my taxes because they're not seeing any of that back to them.
Right. Yes. If you said it well in the debate, you said if the government would just get out of people's way, people could really thrive. So I appreciate that about you. Just a few final questions before we wrap. Favorite food you've had on the road?
Well, my favorite food all around, but now even in the 3rd district, because our steak is even better, is ribeye, which
that
is
was
funny.
The only answer I was going to allow anyway. I'm a beef girl.
Well, people laugh at me because I'm not that big and I order these ribeyes. They always come in like 14 ounces.
So you've had some good ribeyes growing right in Nebraska. That's good to hear. How about hobbies when you're not fighting for a better Nebraska? What do you like to do for fun?
Yeah, I like to read a lot and spend time with my children. We like to be outdoors and go around and lots of walks, lots of hikes, and just enjoying one another in the time with one another, because I think that is so important. And really, well, I haven't done it in a while, but running
well, you're running just in a different way right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Now we're going to get to spend some time together at the end of the week. Can you tell us about that event and let people know where they can show up to hang out with you as well?
Yes. And Amanda, I'm so excited, and I can't wait to have you here in person as well. But we are doing the Theresa Thibodeau Faith, Family, and Freedom Rally. We're doing it right in Ceresco, Nebraska. And I'm going to have to get the address to you. I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'm sorry.
That's all right. I'll plug it into the show notes to let people know.
But we are starting right at 5 p.m. and we put on there until the cows come home.
Awesome.
But if anyone is planning on attending the Trump rally, we're doing it prior to the Trump rally. So you can have a nice stop before going over there and learn more about Trent Luce and myself and how we are going to stand up for our true freedoms, put faith first, then family, and then our freedom, because those are the three most important things for our country to survive. And if we don't put those first, nothing else matters.
Well, that'll do it. I sure appreciate you coming on the show today, Theresa.
Thanks, Amanda, and I'll get you the address soon.
Awesome. Well, I'm Amanda Radke for this special edition of the Radke Report. As always, we are celebrating faith, family, freedom, farming, and the future of food. Thanks for watching this episode of the Radke Report. I would like to officially invite you all to join me in Ceresco, Nebraska this Friday, April 29th, for a Faith, Family, Freedom Rally hosted by Theresa Thibodeau and Trent Luce, candidates for governor and lieutenant governor of the great state of Nebraska. At this event, which will be held at Porter Ridge, 1520 County Road B in Ceresco, there will be food trucks on site. There's going to be great entertainment by Danica Michaels, a strong conservative Christian country music singer. We're going to hear from Randy J. Goodwin, a Christian actor who is trying to bring those values and principles onto the Hollywood scene with the entertainment that he produces. And we're also going to hear from Dominika Blum. She escaped Poland and the communist rule there in Poland. She came to the United States just a teenager and had survived, eating potatoes and growing up on nothing. She came to the United States seeking freedom, and now she is telling the tale and warning American citizens that what she experienced back in Poland is playing out here in the United States. So if you care about things like faith, family, freedom, and the foundational principles that our nation was established on, you need to be in Ceresco, Nebraska on April 29th. I'm going to be there. Come hang out, have some great food, hang out with great people, listen to great music, and let's talk about the issues that matter most. We'll see you there. It is grilling season around here. We've got some steaks on the grill, and I am using my all-time favorite seasoning, the All-American Beef Battalion's Superior Steak Seasoning, created by the one and only John Ford. Every time you buy one of these steak seasonings, you can support the All-American Beef Battalion. Now, if you've been following me long enough, you know I'm a huge supporter of the battalion. It was started by my dear friend and bonus grandpa, the late Bill Brody, who is a Vietnam veteran, came home from the war to protesters and vowed to make sure that the troops serving our country today never felt that way. And so in 2007, he started the battalion as a way for this Kansas cowboy to say thank you to the troops. And since that he got started, they've served over 400,000 ribeyes to the military men and women. You too can try this steak seasoning and support the All-American Beef Battalion when you head to steaksfortroops.com. Thank you to our men and women who keep us free.